Hey guys, Majin Obama here, and today I want to talk about a very special game on this edition of Scrub Busters. We're going to talk about Blazblue. This game started in 2008, brought to you by Arc System Works, had multiple updates and revisions up through 2017, and I had a lot of great times with this game. If you guys are at all curious about it, I encourage you to check out EVO 2017 Top 8 for this game. Me and Juna did commentary in-house for the arena, and it was cinema. But what I want to encourage you to do is give it a shot yourself. This game has a lot of system mechanics. Like I said, over 8 years of updates and revision, and they kept adding more and more characters. To hop in and play, you don't have to engage with 80% of that stuff. The rest of it, you can learn as deep into the well as you want to go and invest in your time and learning how to play it. That's when you can learn some more of those things and incorporate them into your play. But to hop in and play and beat up on people who talk that talk, but you know they ain't about shit, let me show you something. This game has a huge roster of characters, but if I was to make a suggestion, listen, you can pick up characters like Ragna, Jin. If you've ever played a fighting game before, you'll find yourself pretty comfortable with them as well. Susanoo, Hakumen at low level, you can make them work. But the character that I recommend at the floor, if you want bang for your buck, you're gonna go with Mai. This character is a menace, and she is not hard to pick up and play. This character was added late into the game's lifespan, and she was designed with the angle of being as easy to get into as possible for players. You know, just for example, a lot of characters have standard Gatling routes where you have to do something like, you know, maybe this character has to do crouch A into stand A, into stand B, into crouch B, and then C. It's a dedicated route for them to do combo routing and then pressure, etc. They took a different approach with this character, and they kind of made her like a Tekken character or like a Mortal Kombat character, where set buttons have set routes that end in certain attacks. But then also, you could just mash A. You can mash A. That's a 3-hit string into a special. You can mash C and do 3,200 damage, which is pretty good for what you're doing. Attacks that you want to go to immediately are her stand A and her crouch A. Both of these can chain into this A auto combo. 2A, 5A, AA. 5A, 5A, AA. And after the third hit, you do her quarter circle forward ace. It's a spear drive attack. And that's a fine combo, and you're still in range to be able to resume pressure or check your opponent for trying to do something. Same thing with the low. The quirk about this A auto combo is the second hit on block and on hit is jump cancelable. So you can use that, especially if your opponent's blocking, to be able to kind of give them different looks or take the opportunity to go to the air, come down with a falling attack, reposition yourself, run away. You can use that to kind of buffer your air movement. But the other thing you can do with it, you can burst bait. In round-ending scenarios where you know your opponent is like one combo away from dying, and they have access to burst, and you know they're going to go to it, you can do that to bait them. So you use that jump cancel at low level. You can use that as a way to kind of punish your opponents for being too predictable as well. Like I said, Blazblue is a difficult game because there's lots of system mechanics. There's 4 different types of blocking. Block, barrier blocking, instant barrier. Don't confuse yourself with all that stuff. You don't have to engage with most of them at low level just to hop in and play. I will say this, I do recommend you kind of trying to mess around with barrier. Holding A and B back when you block will produce this barrier effect. If you've ever played Marvel vs. Capcom and you're familiar with advancing guard where you push block, or Guilty Gear series, this is that same idea. You're going to be in block stun a little bit longer, but you'll push the enemy out. And you use that barrier meter underneath your life bar in order to do it. Just mess around with it a little bit. And you'll see with Mai, it's more important for your opponents to use it than it is for you. You'll see why. The other buttons that you want to go to, her C button. First of all, this button in mid-range, cracked. And then the best part is it combos. Bruh, just literally just press C. Press C, you do multi-stabs. You can just quarter circle forward A to get right back in there. Her 2C, excellent anti-air button amongst the cast. This is one of the creme de la creme. As a normal anti-air button, this is awesome. And the best part is, you lift, you give yourself a combo. It's real simple. 2C, jump BC, quarter circle back A. Since it does hit from pretty far away, there are some times where you might struggle to get the follow-ups like this. You might be out of range. In certain situations, especially if you connect with an airborne opponent, you might be too low to get the jump BC. Simplify it. Just do jump C, just get the knockdown. The whole point is stopping players from just jumping in on you willy-nilly like that. You will struggle a little bit against characters that are faster, have fast instant air dashes with deep hitting aerial attacks. You have to be a little bit more preemptive against those players, but it's a threat. This is a big attack. Her jump C as well. Excellent air to ground normal. Use it. It's good. Jump B is going to be better for maybe some air to air interactions, but also both of these buttons can cross up, jump B and jump C as well. Next, let's talk about the stances. So what you have to know with Mai is quarter circle forward is a stance. Quarter circle back is a stance. Let's talk about quarter circle forward first. You're going to use this a lot in combos, especially, again, remember after your auto combo, you're doing quarter circle forward A after that last hit. So you're really entering a stance. And what you're going to do is, quarter circle forward A is a lunging spear drive. Quarter circle B is the same attack, but from further away. Quarter circle forward C is going to do an airborne version, which is important for some combo routing because it'll bring you into the air. It will give you a lot of real estate on hit, so you'll be able to push to the corner a lot easier, and then you can come down with the aerial spear to finish your combo. That's a combo. Very, very easy, standard. Shouldn't take you more than 10 seconds to figure out how it works kind of combo routing. The interesting thing to note about this attack, take a good, real close look at it. You see how it creates this little blue effect at the very tip? This is just like a random mechanic that this character has, where if the very tip range of that attack hits, you'll guard crush the opponent, and you get plus frames. This is applicable for most of her spear attacks. It's going to be most important for you with this A version and with the B versions. So take a look at this. See? Now, with the A version, it's going to be hard for you to convert off of that, but you do get plus frames to be able to dash in, resume pressure, keep the pressure up if you want to do that. However, in order to prevent that from happening, your opponent is going to have to use barrier. It's going to nullify chip damage and prevent that guard crush from happening. Your opponent is going to have to understand the mechanics of the game, and the game is going to demand a higher understanding of mechanics and how the character works than for you. That's what makes this character a good scrub buster. They're going to have to be good at instant blocking. They're going to have to be good at movement. They're going to have to understand the character better than you do, and that's why you can bully with it. Quarter circle forward A, even though it's minus on block, a lot of times if you space it correctly, you're going to be pushed out far enough to where their fastest buttons are going to whiff. Ideally, you should try to do this in a range to where on recovery, you whiff like right here, and if they press the button, you bang on that C. Auto combo, and imagine how frustrating that's going to feel for them. Quarter circle back is another stance, is the way you want to think about it. She does this backflip, and you can do it in the air as well. That's how you do this. That's a common combo ender. Quarter circle back A, this vertical dive spear. Quarter circle back B is the same attack, but with a slightly more diagonal angle. And then you have quarter circle back C, the moneymaker. A lot more horizontal clearance with that diagonal angle there. Quarter circle back stance. If you hit the button for the corresponding spear attack later in the flip, you see how she does a backflip? If you hit your button in the latter half of the flip, you'll do a buffed version of the attack. So take a look at this. Normal dive spear, if you hit it very quickly, it's just a one strike, you knock them down real quick, right? Now look at this. That shock wave that it creates, that second hit, is plus on block, and it pops them up on it for a combo on hit. What that means is, you can just be flying around the screen, just doing this stuff, and they gotta deal with it. If they're not good at instant blocking, if they're not good at barrier blocking, if they're not good with jump instant blocking, if they're not good at moving out of the way to be able to try to punish you for whiffing it, they're going to have a tough time because you're going to do this to them all day long. What makes it so sweet is you can do backflip into itself. Let's say your opponent is really good at anti-airing this or using one of their like a parry mechanic or a super to call it out. You could just not do it. You could just not do it and do something else. Change your timing. Mess with your opponent's head. Hey, I'm going to dive spear. I'm going to dive. Just kidding. Hey, I'm going to dive spear. Haha. No. I'm going to dive spear. I promise I'm going to do it. I did it this time. And that's how that works. This is going to be really frustrating for your opponent to deal with. And what makes it even sweeter is she has a, for some reason, full screen projectile spear that she can go to with her D button. And you can control this. You can do it in the air. On full charge, this becomes unblockable. Also has a boomerang effect for a second hit. So if they try to dash in under the first time, you can call it back, you'll hit them in the back. They have to dash block to deal with this properly and be able to tag your recovery there. Astral finishes. At low levels of play, you know, everybody wants to do these, right? Mine has so many ways to combo in and out of. It's not even funny. I mean, bro, round-ending scenario like this, and you want to go for an astral, get a throw. It's mad easy. Speaking of which, her throw, because of the way you can use backflip, you buffer backflip in the middle of the throw animation and try to come down with the enhanced dive spear. That way you get a pickup combo, like so. Full screen dive spear that's plus on block into astral on hit. The more you fight better and better players, what you're going to realize is that for a lot of these attacks, your opponents will be better at using defensive mechanics that the game has to be able to circumvent a lot of what she can do, right? Better players are going to be moving out of the way and waiting for you to dive spear, then hitting you on the way down. Or they're going to instant block and check you for trying to press after. Or they're going to be doing parries to you, anti-airing it. In order to get better with her, you're going to have better and better pressure. And so one thing that's cool about her is that, let's say in the case of the C-stabs, right? You can actually just do quarter circle forward stance and be able to try to apply pressure again like that. This is going to be important because players are going to be trying to barrier you out when you go to those kinds of strings, and they're going to push you out. So the way you combat that is, okay, I'll just dash in. Like that. You're going to have to emphasize a lot more of her pressure as soon as you're done maximizing reward in a lot of these cases. Last thing I want to talk about too is her other stance. If you do B, and there's a couple ways to go into this. One is off a feint, but easiest way, BB. She'll go into this stance and check this out. You see what happened? She has a guard point on this stance that will allow her to truck through a lot of body hitting attacks, supers, DPs, all that stuff. So if you're feeling, you know, if your AA auto combo and your C buttons are kind of they're getting the job done, but your opponent starts to adapt, that's when you throw them the mind breaker, go in the stance on them. And she has attacks out of this as well. A is a command load that you can combo after. Holding up an A button will do another overhead kick that she can combo after. Forward A is a mid-wall splatting attack that you can combo after. That's just an example, just very brief example of all the kind of tools that this character has. She is a monster. For my supers, it's important to note that she has two. One is quarter circle back D. The other is quarter circle forward D, but we'll get to that in a moment. For quarter circle back D, she gets first frame guard point. However, this does not protect against throws, which is one reason why I do not suggest using it on wake up very often or using it very much in general, to be honest with you. This attack is going to be kind of like a specific targeted kind of super to where at low level I wouldn't really use it that much. It's just it's just really strange. Like the super flash comes out after it, you can get stuff. Trust me, just don't burn. Your meter's better spent with other stuff. For example, her quarter circle 4D super. Now this one you're mostly going to be using it to tack on at the end of combos to just kind of just add more damage. But you can also use it in another kind of like defensive way, and I'll show you. So on wake up, it's important to note that this super starts up on frame 4, so it's not a true reversal. You can get stuffed out of it. So maybe err on the side of caution when doing it on wake up. I think it's a much greater threat in mid-range, especially if you end up blocking some strings, especially if you have 100 heat to your name. You can take a look at this super, look at how unsafe it is by itself, right? If you miss, you're going to eat something for it. However, if you have 100 heat and you rapid cancel, just hit ABC when on the attack on the way down, assuming that they blocked it, all of a sudden, you're in a position where you can just do backflip in their face, and now you're threatening with dive spear or a feint or something else. That, I think, can be way more powerful, especially at low level. And again, it's as simple as doing quarter circle forward D. Just a fireball, ABC on the way down, and now you're threatening. And you can use it at mid-range in the same range where you would basically be buffering flip defensively or any other attack like that. Again, these combos are just meant to get you started on your way. You can hop in and start playing. But if you enjoy the game and you want to invest more time in learning, what I recommend you do is not only use the tools that the game gives you, for example, checking out challenge mode. Challenge mode, although some of these combos will not be optimal, they will not be the combos that you end up using at the highest levels of play or something like that, but they can be useful for developing an understanding of certain combo concepts, combo theory ideas, and give you some ideas of what to be looking for and what can connect into what. Just go through some of the easiest ones and you can pretty much get an idea for what you're looking for in some of these situations. If you want to invest even more time, I suggest heading over to the Dust Loop Wiki. From here, once you go to the Dust Loop Wiki, if you head over to BBCF, pick your character, go to combos, and they have pretty much everything that you could possibly want to know, and it's all just right there. But that's going to do it for this episode of Scrub Busters. Give her a shot. Give Blazblue a shot, man. It's a great game from a pretty good era of titles from Arc System Works. But that's going to do it for me. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want to see any other games or if this looked interesting to you at all. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. Everybody be easy.